Hello everyone, again, Fabiana Pragier, the pastry chef specialized in free from baking. I teach you how to profit selling gluten and dairy-free products. And if you like this kind of content, if it's useful for you, you know what to do, right? Subscribe and don't miss anything. Well, today we are going to talk about price. Do you think that gluten and dairy-free products are expensive and that's an obstacle to sell it? Well, then this class is definitely for you. Do you think price is important? Answer is yes, price is very important. And when you think about vegan products, free from gluten and dairy-free products, the first thing that comes to your mind is, oh God, is expensive. But and if I tell you that since the very beginning, I only work with gluten and dairy-free products, and if I tell you that even selling to wholesalers as a whole, even selling to resellers as a wholesaler, price has never been the problem. That's true. Price has never been the problem. Some of my retail customers used to sell one individual cheesecake from my brand for £6.30, as you can see. The competitor, even imported from France, was three, if I remember here, 375. So you can see in this image. And why I could do that? My packaging was not very special, was not better. We were not talking about quantities. The difference is I was exactly what I was selling. I was what was inside my product, how this is made, and my positioning. I know where I was selling and to whom. And this is very, very, very important. It is the most important. I can tell that if you do the homework, you want to knock the wrong doors. What this means, it can happen that you receive a no because of the price or any other reason. Yes, it can happen. When you are selling something, no is also part of the process, because a no today might become a yes in the future, and who is working in sales know that. The thing is, when you receive a no, we are talking about selling our gluten and dairy-free products. When you receive a no, you have to find out why people are not buying, because sometimes you think it's because of the price, but it's not. Well, do you know why free from products are more expensive than the classic ones? I think the first answer would be because of ingredients, of course. Dairy-free milk or cream or other ingredients are more expensive than the classic ones, and your customer knows it. Like it's not you're coming with something that nobody knows. But to bake delicious products, to bake a very nice, to offer a very nice product, you have to invest in knowledge, because you have to study to reach the level where your products are very good. You have to invest in marketing, branding, in sales, in post sales, because you have to sell and then you have to go to the clients and see how it's going, what they are selling, what they are not selling, what people are talking about your products. Then you have to do the delivery. Then so all these things cost money, and this will also increase the price of your products. This happens the same. It happens the same with the classic ones. But from now, you will stop thinking about the classic ones, the classic products. Your mind has to be concentrated in the free from the gluten and dairy-free products. This is what you think about when you think about your competitors. Your competitors are the people who are doing the same as you, and when you compare things, you have to take things that are the same as yours. It's very important. Rule number one. What makes you then stand out? How is the market like it is nowadays, that we see industrialized products, or that some are really good, but you see lots of dry products that have a bad appearance, as I already showed you in another videos. What makes you stand out? People are not really expecting the products to be the best ones, as good as the classic ones, or even better than the classic ones. And there is where you can surprise people, because if your products are delicious, people try it and can't even tell it's gluten-free, because people are relating gluten-free and dairy-free with dry things that are not moist, are not tasty. And if when they eat your products, this is just delicious, believe me, is the experience. We are not just eating. We want to have a pleasure by eating, and we all are all the time looking for the experience, because a car, for example, is not just a car. It's not something that takes you from A to B. You want this to be comfortable, and there are lots of additionals that can be added to a car, and people pay for it. They pay for things, they pay for the experience, they pay for the comfort, so they pay for the pleasure, but they do it when it makes sense for them. We invest our money in the things that make sense for us. The same with our gluten and dairy-free products. Some people, you know, they are going to consume the products because they can't consume gluten-containing products, but some people, they decided to go in a diet like that. And especially for these people, they are looking for a nice experience, because they could be eating something else. Imagine to eat something that they consider healthier, and it's also delicious. It's as delicious or even more than the classic ones. Then you are there. People won't think about the price anymore. It's not as easy as I'm saying, of course not, and we are going to talk about it. Well, now I'm going to show you an image. I want you to take a look at this image and think about your competitors. And so we agree that competitors are the people who sell exactly the same kind of product. And I think this will be a very easy, clear exercise to understand. Well, first question. So first thing, they are all pens. The first question is, do you think people know these three products can do exactly the same thing? Of course, right? Do you think these three companies, when they try to sell, when they do marketing, branding for their products, they focus in what they have in common? I don't think so, right? Of course, they all can do the same. Just like when you sit in a flight, in the business class, in the economic class, the airplane is flying to the same destination, but you are looking for a different experience while you are flying somewhere. And then the thing is, do you think this is the most important thing? Because the things I just told you are very clear, right? But the most important question here is, do you think the people who are paying more for the business class experience, for the expensive pen, if you ask them right now, what are the things, the differentials that made them invest their money in those products? You think they know? Yes, they know, because the marketing sell the product to these people. and they focus in what they in what is their differential, what are they offering more, what is the plus buying their product, what is the experience, what is the where are we going to belong, to which group, to which community, what is going to be your experience, what's going to be the pleasure, the extra pleasure that you get investing your money in their products. They don't talk about writing anymore, which is the function of a pen. So write is not the marketing these people are using. Of course, you have loads of because you are working with a special product, you're different. Your first unique selling point is the fact that you are gluten and dairy free. And of course, you have to talk about it. But why would you buy your product? Because sometimes you ask people, oh, you are just launching a new cheese. Yeah? This happened to me another day. Okay, because I'm looking for dairy-free alternatives. And what is the unique selling point from your cheese? Is that is dairy-free. But why should I buy your cheese and not another cheese? And this should be the answer. So I'm not selling only dairy-free cheese, but this, in compared to the others, you don't have to say that, but people know because they are looking for this kind of product. Like you can have this and this and this experience. We are not using soya or whatever. There's always the things you can focus, and then the simple function of the cheese, right? And yeah, I think since I started, I see people doing a very, very big mistake. This really, really breaks my heart, because sometimes in order to be cheaper, people decide, brands, big markets, and believe me, there are this kind of mentality everywhere. They decided to look for cheaper ingredients. One of the most important things you can do in this market, if I had to give you just one tip, this would be choose the best ingredients to make your product. You are going to be a little bit more expensive, but if you choose the right positioning, you're going to sell, because the best ingredients, the best chocolate, 70% of course at least, and fresh ground almonds, the best ingredients taste completely different. Of course, you have to have a very cool recipe, but if you do it with the best ingredients, the chocolate that tastes luxury, the ground almonds that just melt in your mouth, your product, the final product tastes completely different. People are going to have a special experience. I've seen, I'm not talking about coffee shop in the countryside, that by the way is where sometimes you eat the best tarts and cakes, but I'm talking about very expensive stores. Sometimes they just look for cheap ingredients, and then they have the amazing packaging which sells as well, but when you eat, it's just so disappointing, but so disappointing. Well, as I'm telling you, since I started, I see when people start struggling because they try to be cheap, they cut the good ingredients and start to replace into cheap ones, and people can taste it. So if I could give you just one tip, this would be mine. Produce your cakes and desserts with the best ingredients you can find. Well, now, okay, then I need to work a bit on my prices, and I don't want to cheat. I don't want to use the cheap ingredients. So what can I do? Can I reduce my prices? But being honest, answer is yes, you can. Well, the first strategy, I would say, that's very wise, and it's not wise just to reduce your prices, but to help you selling other portions, because sometimes you sell big cakes, and big cakes cost more, like if you have 100 grams of something or 200 grams is totally different, and when you are doing your pricing, this people will notice, no? That is a big difference. Well, but we are here talking about prices, and well, if you ask me, for example, how can I reduce my prices in order to control the costs a little bit, but being honest, like without cheating, without using cheap ingredients or anything like that? Well, what I would tell you would be my first strategy would be the portions, and this is not only to for you to control to decrease your cost of production, but also to sell, because sometimes we produce big cakes and costing makes a big difference if you are using 100 grams of something or 200 grams, right? But sometimes you are selling big cakes, and most of the people are not buying family size, or they don't have a big fridge at home to storage, unless we are in United States, of course, because they have the amazing, beautiful fridges, right? I love it, by the way. But the portions, this I had to think about it, because sometimes I had big cakes and my customers didn't have place to display. Then I started to reduce cuts, which previously were like 20 centimeters to 15, I think is 8 inches to 6 inches, something like that. I'm still learning. And there are many other ways to work on prices, like you can tell your customers that you don't take orders for 1 or 2, or your minimum 6 or 10 or 12 in order, because of course if you were selling more, so your delivery cost, your packaging and everything is going to be reduced. When you can work in your delivery prices as well. For example, if your customers are not ordering the minimum, they have to pay for the delivery, or in order to receive the delivery for free, there is a minimum order, because this makes a difference. I don't know if you are already working or if you are going to start. This is something you have to think about. Well, then we are talking about using the best ingredients, and we are talking about how to manage a little bit this production costs. Sorry about my English, is always this. Sometimes I stuck because I'm looking for the best words to describe what I'm trying to say, but I'm already very, very happy, the happiest person in the world, if you guys can understand what I say. Yes, we are talking about all this, but might be that you are losing customers because of the price. Yes, but why this happen? Because it might be, first of all, that you are really too expensive, because you are not controlling your production cost, or because your delivery is too expensive, or because you open the radio where you are delivering before you really worked all the customers that are around, so which is going to be faster and cheaper to delivery. But can be, for example, your prices are too expensive for the market you decided to sell, or for the customer you decided to sell, because in the same neighborhood you also have different kinds of customers, right? It can be that the clientele you are looking for, that you don't have to adjust your prices, your selling prices, but you have to go and offer your products to the right clientele. Sometimes the clientele that's really looking for the products that are really aiming to buy this kind of stuff are somewhere else, or you are selling somewhere where they are not being clear about your unique selling points, or you go there and they think you are just more expensive, but they don't understand that you are offering a different product that is gluten, that is dairy free, with good ingredients that are special products. Sometimes you can manage this kind of thing, like having some banners and some information, training the customers that are selling your products, or you have to print and bring more information to your customers, bring samples, do on Saturday some tasting for the customers to try your products, because if they are not reading what you're writing, they would understand very well if they are tasting what you're selling. Then most of the time the pricing or the wrong pricing have everything to do with positioning. A business is composed to many things. Of course, is the planning, the production, buying ingredients and selling, the post sale, taking orders, packaging, delivering, doing all these things, and all these have costs, have procedures, and a business is composed to many details. But if you know the market you are going into, if you're positioning, if you know your market, if you know where you want to sell, who are your customers and how they act, what are they buying, what are they finding when they look for this kind of product. If you know your market and you know very, very well your costing, how much costs for you to go from A to B, your ingredients, your packaging, and everything, because you're going to manage bulk orders, you're going to manage new customers, new flavors. If you know these two things, your market very well and your costing, once you understand clearly these two things, price is not going to be a problem when selling your products. And I can tell you that because I always have these two things in my mind. When someone asks me any questions about my business, can you do this? Can you do that? I have this kind of customers. Do you have something that suits them? Is it possible to do a tasting every Saturday or leave some samples here? If you know exactly your costing, you always can reply this kind of questions. Don't have to be right away, of course, but you have to know. And once you know your market, you know if what you are selling, you are offering to the right customers. If what you are selling is what the market, your market is looking for. And believe me, just these two things and you will never concern about prices anymore, because as I told you in the beginning of this class, you won't knock the wrong doors. Well, I think it's a lot of things to think about. I left here some exercise for you to do about your business, and I see you in the next class. Don't forget to, before you leave, to like this video and to subscribe for more. Thank you for watching.